2 months from right now, we will have real live football to watch. 2 months from week 0. Headlined by a game in Ireland once again. It's one of the biggest Big 12 conference games of the season, believe it or not. Kansas State and Iowa State. That'll kick off week 0 Saturday at noon Eastern time. CBS Sports Network and CBS will bring you home. Over on Sports Network, it's Sam Houston against Western Kentucky. And on CBS, it's Stanford and Hawaii. Notable week 1 games, Texas at Ohio State in the shoe. You got LSU at Clemson, Miami and Notre Dame. Oh, and Alabama at Florida State. That's at Doak. The Noles 2 touchdown dogs at home after a 2-win season. But new quarterback Thomas Castellanos thinks the Seminoles have the edge because Nick Saban won't be on that other sideline. Kalen DeBoer, now the head coach, obviously, entering his 2nd season. Castellanos saying, go back and watch every first game that I played in. We always start fast. I dreamed of moments like this. I dreamed of playing against Alabama. They don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me. Let's bring in former FSU great Bryant McFadden along with our Chip Patterson. B-Mac, as a former Nole, what do you think of Castellanos giving them 2 months of bulletin board material here?
Well, I just hope he is ready to back up everything he laid out for Alabama and their fans. Because it's one thing to go out and give bulletin board material, but it's another thing to go out and give it and stand on it. Make it become a reality. So with that being said, hey, it's the offseason. You saw the graphic, 2 months until we have college football. He's giving us something to talk about, but not just us here at HQ. You better believe every member of Alabama's team, their fans, their boosters, everyone, they're talking about this, and this just added more fuel to this fire that will take place in late August in Tallahassee.
This falls right in line with the confidence that Thomas Castellanos brings to the game. You know, a playmaker, freewheeling style to make something out of nothing. This is all the confidence that I saw from Thomas Castellanos when he came back from beating who? Florida State in the season opener. Comes back and he says, oh, here at Boston College, we actually have to go to class after he went out and beat Duquesne the very next week. Thomas Castellanos is a character, and obviously getting benched at Boston College had him looking for other options, but the marriage of him and Gus Malzahn clearly has Castellanos excited, clearly has Florida State excited. But to B-Mac's point, that opponent, those defenders out there, do not play for Northern Illinois, which was the Boston College season opener 2 years ago, and they do not look the same as last year's Florida State defense. So it is a very different bear that Thomas Castellanos has poked here. We'll see how it works out for him.
Chip, we asked you to give us a list of some of the most impactful transfers going into the season you think are going to have a major impact at their new schools. You did not pick Castellanos, by the way, but you did pick Carson Beck at Miami. Why do you think he's going to have a big year?
Well, because it's the ceiling and the floor. Miami's success and their ability to compete for the college football playoff, it really relies on Carson Beck coming back, A, fully healthy, and then B, being able to regain some of the best of Carson Beck. You go back to the 2023 season, nearly 4,000 passing yards. You go back to the highlights of even last year before he got in that injury in the SEC championship game. When he was on, he was very, very effective, and you see why all the tools are paying off. But I got to tell you, I am a little bit concerned with what I saw last season, with what I saw being 12 interceptions all within about a 6-game run. So he has got to make sure that he doesn't have those same issues in terms of turning the ball over. But we saw what Miami's offense can be. I don't expect Carson Beck to be Cam Ward, but we saw how that offense can set a quarterback up to be successful. He's got to be healthy, but if he is, he's got a great situation to be successful with the Hurricanes this year.
You hit the nail on the head, Chip. If he is healthy, not just healthy for the month of September, but the entire season. Because if he is healthy, outside of Cade in the ACC, he has the most experience playing college football and doing so at a pretty good level. So now if you're Miami, for the second straight year in a row for Mario Cristobal, you have a legit NFL prospect at the quarterback position. Individually speaking, it worked out well for Cam Ward a year ago. But overall, it didn't work out so well for the team in totality, Chip, because you had the #1 pick in the NFL draft, the best quarterback in the NFL draft, and you didn't even play for an ACC title. That's unacceptable. So this puts more pressure on Mario Cristobal, because two things we know about college football, Chip. If you got a good coach and a really, really good quarterback, you're going to compete for championships, right? Last year they had a great quarterback, didn't come close to competing for an ACC championship, better yet, a college football championship. So right now, Mario Cristobal, there's a lot of pressure on him to get it done, because he wasn't able to get it done with the first overall pick in Cam Ward. So maybe he can do so with Carson Beck.
A lot of pressure on the coaching staff in Norman, Oklahoma as well, because Oklahoma was 2-6 in their first year in the SEC. But Chip, why do you believe their new quarterback from Washington State might put up some prolific numbers this season?
He is coming with the offensive coordinator from Washington State. So when it's not just John Mateer, you're getting Arbuckle as well. You're getting a system that he knows. So you're not having to teach a new offensive system to a playmaking quarterback who did great. Now, the thing that is going to be very interesting to track, and why, when I'm turning in impact, this could be a negative impact as well. Because if John Mateer does not hit, well, then Brent Venables might not be long for his time as the Oklahoma head coach. That Oklahoma's future with Brent Venables and this regime relies on John Mateer to be the same kind of dual threat quarterback that he was with the Cougars 1 year ago. The schedule is going to be much more difficult, but the talent around him will be better as well. And so for John Mateer, if he can land in the SEC and not be overwhelmed by how the closing speed of pass rushers is so much faster than it was playing against Washington State's schedule. If he is able to go out there and be effective, well, now we're talking about an Oklahoma team that maybe can move forward into 2026 and beyond still with Brent Venables, because that is what Venables is really risking here, that he's picked the right offensive coordinator and the right quarterback, and that bringing them both together will allow for an easier transition.
One of the biggest stories of the offseason involving a transfer, one of the biggest transfer stories ever, really, Nico Iamaleava, who wanted a bunch more money from Tennessee, didn't get it, and then had to take a lot less to go to UCLA. BMAC, Chip thinks he's going to have a very impactful season at UCLA. What do you think?
He better. He better. He better. I mean, in terms of pressure on quarterbacks, there's a lot of pressure on Nico because of the situation he decided to leave in Knoxville. I mean, you look at what Nico did, going back to his first start in bowl game. Didn't look like a freshman, didn't look like a player that lacked experience. The offense catered to his skill set. And I know the season didn't end, Chip, like they wanted it to end. But overall for Nico, I felt like he played really, really good fall. And the expectations were going to be super high for him coming into another quarterback-friendly system along with players surrounding him. Now, when you look at what happened, making the move to go to UCLA wasn't a good team at all on either side of football, especially offensively. So one thing about the foundation that was created for Nico that he was a part of, then you saw the success. Then you leave from that. Yes, Chip, you're right. He better have a significant impact from start to finish, because if he goes out west, I understand he's going back home. But if it doesn't work out on the football field, he's going to have the what-if mindset. What if I stayed with Coach Heupel and that offense? What if I stayed making plays against SEC defenses? What if I stayed and just continued to develop, not only be a legit NFL prospect, but potentially in the Heisman conversation? Chip, it's safe to say after 1 year, he was set up to be in all of those conversations. Now he's going into a bunch of unknowns. And I can tell you this about sports, especially football. The unknowns are very, very scary. I, for one, would take the known over the unknown. And, Chip, I think you would do the same.
Relative to expectations, I think Nico can do more for UCLA than he could have done for Tennessee this year. Relative to expectations, because Tennessee, they're chasing that college football playoff national title. I don't know if Nico's the guy to get him there, but you know what Nico can do for UCLA? He can get him to the bowl game. He can win those coin flip games against the middle pack of the Big Ten, and they weren't going to do that in the same way with Joey Aguilar. The talent increase at the quarterback position that Deshaun Foster has for UCLA is significant, and I think Nico's impact could be very, very big for his tenure in Westwood.
Okay, Chip Patterson with some impactful transfers. 2 months to the NFL season kicking off week 0. Bryant McFadden with us as well. You can hear Chip on the Cover 3 podcast. They just dropped a new episode today. Much more on that interesting lawsuit that Wisconsin has filed against Miami and a Pac-12 expansion update.